When I found Marietta, I didn't just find a place to go to college. I found so much more than that.
I found friends. I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Hello, and welcome to the special edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm your host, Austin Baumgartner. This program comes to you at the end of a school year like no other. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we became used to uncertainty, not knowing whether something is open or not, or not knowing how long it will take for something to come in the mail. We are now experts at Zoom in judging whether or not someone is 6 feet away, proficient at remote learning, and okay with not knowing whether class will be in person or not until class time. And who would have thought we'd be in a situation where we'd have our own favorite mask? With this program, we explore life at Marietta College during what many would call the most interesting year of their lifetime. Joining us for this program are journalism and broadcasting students from Marietta College with 8 different stories. We'll start with a look at Marietta College athletics. Reese Worship focuses on the track and field team's continued success.
Come watch and listen as we understand the greatness involved with the Marietta College track team with the head coach Jason Davis and Alex Diamond as they talk about some of the recent success with the team and the past they built upon. And we are chasing something.
Marietta College's lacrosse team is young, and I explore how COVID-19 is impacting their season. It is a strange time to have football in the spring. Darius Hatch explains what it's like to play football during a pandemic.
Marietta Pioneer football has always been about fight and how to push through adversity, something that has hit them hard this last football season with COVID-19. Here, you'll find out all the do's and don'ts that go into a football season during a pandemic.
Marietta College's baseball program is also navigating the COVID-19 impact. Bobby Cashaw hears from the head coach on how they are dealing with getting through the pandemic.
Last year, the sports world as we know it has changed. Here at Marietta College, we have witnessed this firsthand as we have had several sports teams have their seasons cut short. One of the teams in particular are our Marietta College baseball team. Join me as I interview head coach Brian Brewer for his insight for his team's success following such an abrupt end to last season.
Their new teammates and their old coaches that they should have been playing. And so I think there's a combination, a couple different motivators that have really contributed to this year's success. And again, hopefully we can just continue trending in the right direction.
I definitely agree with you on that because that season, I remember it, but then I remember hearing talk from certain players this wasn't the season, and then the following season, even though it got cut short, it was just we're here.
It's tough to win college anything, football, baseball, basketball, with freshmen. And that's what we were playing a lot of 2 years ago. So those guys are obviously physically and mentally and emotionally more mature. They're men now versus boys playing against other men. So it's just a more level playing field. And with that maturity comes some confidence, and then along with winning comes confidence.
How are baseball players coping with the disruptions in their routine? Cale Hill discussed what it's like to play with COVID-19 restrictions and how the players have adjusted to meet their goals.
The Marietta College baseball season is already underway, and the Other Express are looking forward to adding to the long history of success. Tune in to this exclusive interview as I sit down with senior outfielder Trent Castle and junior first baseman Drew Holderbach as they talk about their expectations for this season and much more.
From here, our program takes a shift to another important part of campus life, Greek life. Dale Rundulik explores the outcomes of one of the fraternity's consistent support from its members.
I joined the SIGs. They kind of helped me branch out and made who I am today. Now I'm more outgoing, I should say, more adventurous, if you will. But I'd say the reason I joined the SIGs is because of the people that were here before and the people that are here now. They are in line with who I view as good people, and I want to try and keep that tradition going of changing people like myself.
A year after life as we knew it at Marietta College came to a screeching halt, Alexis Pennell hears from some students about how COVID-19 is affecting their lives.
With the welfare and safety of the entire Marietta College community as the highest priority, MC's COVID-19 Recovery Task Force has developed a set of campus health and safety recommendations and requirements in response to the coronavirus pandemic that students and staff are expected to follow. I have interviewed 3 students that want to share their thoughts on how COVID affected them and their school year.
And finally, we can't do a show about a historic area without focusing on its history. Samantha Rubidoux investigates Marietta's interesting stories and some of their mysteries.
From jilted lovers to unhappy artists, from fires to floods to other tragedies, Marietta's history as the first settlement in the Northwest Territory give it a long and colorful past that make for some pretty interesting ghost stories.
Thanks for joining me here for this special edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. Our program will continue after the break.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones. The first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Samantha Rubidoux. Marietta College's track and field team was forced to pause for almost a year, a tough halt for fans and athletes. Despite the interruptions, though, the athletes, including some All-Americans, have continued with their dedication to their sport. Reese Worship explores the recent success of the team and asks, what are they chasing?
Come watch and listen as we understand the greatness involved with the Marietta College tag team with the head coach Jason Davis and Alex Diamond as they talk about some of the recent success with the team and the past they built upon. And we are chasing something.
So I'm here with Coach Davis today, head coach of the track team at Marietta. Coach, we're talking about the subject of we are all chasing something. Can you please inform me about what is chasing something to you?
Chasing something means something different to everybody on the team. We've got some people who are chasing conference qualifying marks. We've got some people who are chasing school records. We've got some people who are chasing national leads, and we have some people who are chasing marks to get you into the national meet. And as coaches, we are chasing higher and higher spots in the conference standings.
Can you tell me about some of these athletes that are chasing something? Maybe more about some of our senior leaders on the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've got several senior leaders on the team. We have a kind of a non-traditional senior in Casey Neville. She's actually a junior, but she's graduating early. She's chasing a spot at the national championships. Another one of our leaders is Laura Pullins. She's a two-time national runner-up in the high jump. So I got to think she's chasing a national title. We have Stephanie, one of our throwers. She's a senior. She's chasing some PRs after a couple of years of injury. She's trying to come back and really do well her senior year. We've got Alex Diamond. He's a hurdler. He's a former All-American here as well. He's currently ranked number 2 in the 110 high hurdles and number 3 in 400 hurdles nationally. So he's chasing a couple of national titles. And we've got another senior, Caitlin Kobushevsky. She's going to be a 5th year next year. So she's in the jab. She's chasing some national qualifying marks. She's chasing some points in the long jump at the conference level, and as well as the 100 and 200. So we've got a lot of people chasing a lot of things.
Can you tell us what are some goals that the team together is chasing?
The team together, this year, at the beginning of this year, kind of sat down and talked about how we wanted to be top 5 in the conference. We fell a little bit short indoors. We were 6th on both the men and women's side. I'm still hoping we can be top 5 outdoors. We'll see how it goes in the coming weeks. Conference is coming up here in less than a month, so we're excited, and we're really trying to strive for what we can get.
So, Coach Davis, how long have you been coaching here at Marietta?
This is my 4th year here at Marietta. I'm going to call it year 3.5 because of the fall. We didn't have much of a cross-country season, or any kind of a cross-country season for that matter. So we're just going to divide it up as the 4th year here, 3.5 seasons.
Can you tell me about the history you've been building here with the Marietta College track team?
Yeah, love to. When I got here in the fall of 2017, there were 12 to 15 total athletes on our team, men and women, cross-country and track combined. Those numbers weren't very high. In fact, due to those low numbers, we scored exactly 0 points on the women's side at the conference championships indoors my first year. Since then, we built our roster up to right around 50 when COVID hit. We're hovering right around 40 now, just because of some of the COVID madness we've hit. But recruiting seems like it's going really well this year, so I think that we're going to have some improvement in numbers here coming soon.
How do you feel about the growth of the team now with all these members? Do you feel like this growth is a positive way and it's a positive reach for this team, or do you feel like it's something else?
I feel like we're moving in a positive direction. Everybody we have on the team now, for the most part, is engaged. They've bought into what we're doing. They're trusting the process, and they're believing in not only themselves but each other. A couple of years ago, you never would have saw our track event athletes wander down to the throws area and cheer for our throwers when they're done. The last couple meets we've been to, that has been exactly the case. They've come down and they've watched the throws and have really encouraged our people, and that's something that I'd love to see.
How do you feel about some of the characters of our athletes on this team?
I feel like we have a bunch of really good people on our team. They want what's best for the team. They want what's best for Marietta College before they want what's best for themselves. We had a number, case in point, we ran a 4x200 meters indoors this year on a relay. And I had some people who were in field events asking if they could be on the relay. I've got some field eventers asking if they could be on our 4x1 outdoors. So that's encouraging. So rather than being selfish about just their event, they want to help out on all sides. And that's encouraging to see, from our All-Americans on our team to the person who has some of the lowest performances on the team. They all want to do something else and find a way to help the team.
Where do you feel the future of this team is headed?
I feel the future of our team is headed in a very good place. We've got some underclassmen, some freshmen and sophomores who have really come in and bought into what we're doing, and I think they're going to start making some strides. Now we graduate a couple of heavy hitters this year, so that's going to short-term hurt us a little bit, but I think long-term, being able to develop those people into All-Americans and school record holders and things of that nature will speak well for recruiting, and with the people that we have. Our underclassmen are great ambassadors for Marietta College and our sport, so it'll just help continue to grow it, and hopefully we get better and better as the years go on.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach Davis.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
So, Alex Diamond, tell me about your All-American career here at Marietta College.
Let's see. I mean, been an All-American for 2 years now. Won my first All-American title my sophomore year. And the last 2 years, probably seen more growth than the first two, which is great. Looking to push towards that next step, of course. Get another All-American title this outdoor season. Hopefully the national championship.
What is your drive for the sport?
I mean, track is fun. I mean, I get to come out here, run around, take my mind off things, just kind of zero in on the athletic aspect, and you know, all the other problems got to fall away.
So what is your big title that you're chasing right now? How big is it? How big is the competition that you're going to face coming up to this national title?
Competition's pretty steep. I was sitting at number 1 in the nation week 1, and now I'm down to like number 4. Probably doesn't sound like too much, but it's the difference between winning the whole thing and just going to go for me. So, I mean, trying to get back to that number 1 spot right now.
All right. Thanks, Alex Diamond.
Thank you, Reese and Samantha. Coming up after the break, Dale Randulik and I will focus on the new lacrosse team, on how it is growing and becoming successful under the weight of COVID restrictions.
Where are we?
We're at Marietta College.
This is where we live, at Marietta College.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Dale Randulik. The women's lacrosse team is not letting COVID get in the way as they continue to punch above their weight for MC's newest team and one of the youngest squads at MC. WCMO NewsCenter 15's Austin Bumgardner has more.
Down along the Ohio River lies Marietta College, home to 20 different varsity sports. Of course, many have heard of the Edda Express baseball team, who has won a NCAA leading 6 national championships in Division III, and the men's basketball team, who is constantly packing the banjo game in and game out. And you can't forget the Boys of the Fall and Don Drum on those chilly fall Saturday evenings. But today we're going to focus on one of Marietta College's newest teams to campus, the Marietta College women's lacrosse team. Lee's Lady Pios had their first ever season in the spring of 2019 under head coach Mallory Nadra and assistant Jordan Anderson. The Pios struggled to get going in the opening season, ending with a 3-13 overall record. But despite the lack of success, this team showed fight and promise. The next season, the Pios came out to a blistering 5-1 start, outscoring their opponents 102-46 over the first 6 games of the year before eventually being shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Coming into this spring, despite all the questions surrounding whether they'll have a season or not, they stayed focused and driven to their goal of making the OAC tournament in only the 3rd season in program history. The Lady Pioneers started the season with an impressive win on the road against Heidelberg before dropping the next 5 out of 6 games. Though sitting towards the bottom of the conference with a 2-5 record, the Pioneers kept fighting and they kept believing, and the Pioneers rattled off 4 wins in the next 5 games, even avenging an early season loss to Ohio Northern on Senior Day. The Pioneers currently sit at a 6-9 record and have clinched a spot in the OAC tournament. The Pioneers have improved drastically in about every stat imaginable from the first season just 2 short years ago. The Pioneers have scored an impressive 146 goals on the year, which is a 60-goal improvement from the 2019 season, where they were only able to score 86. The Pioneers have also had a lot more success with their draw controls, winning 49.3% of them, whereas in 2019 they were only able to win 35.2% of the draws. The Pioneers are also showing the love more this spring with 34 assists after only recording 11 just 2 years ago. The Pioneers are led this spring in goal by junior goalie Maddie Lears. She has established herself as one of the top goalies in the conference, leading the conference in saves with 139 on the season, which is 45 more than she had her freshman year in 2019. She has also broken her own school record for most saves in a game numerous times this spring. The Pioneers are also led by top goal scorers, senior Shannon Doyle and freshman Hope Adams, with 24 and 23 goals respectively. The Pioneers win the regular season this Saturday against Heidelberg before preparing for the postseason just a few short weeks away. Though these Pioneers may not have the storied history other teams have on campus, the future is definitely bright. Never doubt the Lady Lacrosse Pioneers.
Coming up after the break, Marietta College football in the spring, Darius Hatch fills us in on what it's like to play pandemic Pioneer football.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs a water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community. Know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We've always had villains to face.
Bad guys to take down.
But you are the most horrible of all.
We're not here because we have to be.
We're here because we've had enough of you.
Every single one of us is mortal.
But inside of us, we're all heroes.
So stand up with us.
Stand up to fight.
Stand up to cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to learn more.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Cale Hill. Marietta College football is back on the field and hitting it hard. Aside from the change in the season, what else is different about playing a contact sport in a pandemic? WCMO NewsCenter 15's Darius Hatch has all the details.
Hello, I'm Darius Hatch with WCMO TV, and I'm here to tell you how the Marietta Pioneer football team fought COVID during their football season and how they did it. I got to talk to Coach Feltrop and hear about the different things they had to do this season.
I'm Zach Feltrop. I'm the defensive coordinator and the linebackers coach here in Marietta. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, in a normal year, you have injuries and you have things that are going to pull guys out, and some, different protocols that you always follow. And in a COVID year, it's been, everybody's got to get tested, and you got to kind of focus on the future of the game week and everything, while at the same time, like, kind of waiting to see what you're going to do and have backup plans. And, and as bad as it's been, it has been good at some points, because it makes you think out of the box a little bit. Like, some people have to, maybe do some double duty of positions or special teams wise, and it really makes you, as a coach, try to get multiple ideas in your head of like, hey, if this doesn't work, we can easily do this, but while still keeping it simplified, because you can't go from doing something to doing something completely different, so as bad as the pandemic and everything has been, and I'm just glad we get to play. I'm happy for the guys, because I know that they were really looking forward to last year after spending the whole spring, and it kind of trickled over and continued, and we were able to make it work, and the sacrifices that the guys have made have been pretty special. So obviously the first thing is the masks. Everybody's got to have them on. You got to have a way to try to keep people from contact tracing each other or spreading it if they have it, and so the masks are number one, and all of us coaches have to wear them. And two is just trying to social distance on the sidelines, instead of bringing in people for our breaks. We kind of do like a loose break now, and when we try to bring the whole defense in, you have to do it more like huddles. So you have the first team, and then the second team's off to the side, and the third team's on the other side, and individual drills. And when you're together, you got to try to think of drills that don't have people standing around each other. So like, if you are going to go against somebody, it needs to be a separate incident away from everybody else. You can't just have like big piles and of people on top of each other. And for most of my career as a defensive coordinator, I've been on the field, and used to being able, people hear me and yelling, and people understanding what I'm saying. And when the mask is up, a lot of times that gets lost in translation. So it's a lot more based on signaling and the players communicating, which has been good for the players. It was hard for me to adjust, but just trying to get everybody with hand signals and things like that, because like your mouth is covered a lot of times, and some different stuff. And then obviously, when the games, the contact tracing again has been interesting. Who travels, who doesn't travel, who can't travel because of this, or and then when we get on the buses, making sure people have masks on and trying to keep people distanced, things like that. It has really been interesting, So meetings, kind of the same thing. It's been a lot of us trying, and thankfully we've done a great job working with the administrative assistants over at the school and things like that, being able to get rooms at the school so that we can make sure we try to social distance for the bigger groups. Like we take the defensive line and the linebackers, which are one of the bigger groups on the defense, and we put them in a room in Selby to try to space them out, and obviously wearing masks the whole time. And kind of the same thing there with where you asked me about the games, is like, man, I have my mask up, and I'm trying to talk loud, but sometimes it gets muffled through, so you got to figure out a way to make sure that people understand what you're saying, and use visuals and different things. Yeah, so we test every Tuesday from 10 to 2, and everybody has to go get tested, players, coaches, the trainers were tested until they got the vaccine. So, but everybody that was around, could be around anybody, was tested, and it gets tested every week, and it kind of helps us try to, eliminate any kind of spread, so we can kind of nip it in the bud, as opposed to, trying to just section a guy if he gets sick. Now right away, like, hey, this guy's got it. We can try to cut out the spread right away and keep them from getting the whole team getting passed through. If somebody tests positive, normally we know the next day. If they test on Tuesday, normally we know by Wednesday, at least by practice on Wednesday, or meetings on Wednesday, if anybody has an inconclusive or is a positive. And then basically right away they tell us, we go to the practice film and see if there's anybody that needs to be close contacted through practice. If they were up against a certain guy multiple times, they do that. We normally it's a position coach or a coordinator for meetings, if they were sitting next to anybody in meetings, and what the distance was. But everybody who tests positive has to go get an EKG before they're allowed to get cleared, right? And if you have symptoms, they worry more about guys, and the return to play is a little bit longer than somebody who has no symptoms and is asymptomatic. Usually if they get let out on a Thursday or Friday, they can schedule the EKG through the health and wellness on that Friday, and they either get it that day or they get it the next Monday or Saturday, depending on when they have time to do it. And then it normally takes about 72 hours to read it. And once they read it, as long as they don't find any problems, they're allowed to come back. If something shows up, then obviously, they have to make sure that everything's okay, because it's about the health of the student athlete. And then once they figure out what's going on, then they start a gradual return to play. For the guys that have nothing wrong, they can go right back in because they've gotten it checked. So
there you have it. That's the breakdown on how the Marietta Pioneers fought COVID through a football season. That's all I have for you. I'm Darius Hatch with WCMO TV.
Thank you, Cale and Darius. It's been a strange year for many. In particular, baseball has made many shifts in their routine. After the break, Bobby Cashall asked if last year's abrupt end has affected this year's success.
Meet Candace. This senior basketball player loves to spend time hanging out before class with her best friend and education major, Shelby. Shelby knows the best place to study is at the Kalaki Cafe, where she can compare notes with baseball player Ryan and get a great cup of coffee too. In the off-season, Ryan tries his best when he's shooting hoops with broadcasting major Gage in the Dyson Baudo Recreation Center, home of Fenton Court. Gage, as producer at WCMO 15 News, runs the control room, where he shows the ropes to Mary, a junior volleyball player and advertising and public relations major. Mary loves to spend her free time drawing down at the Herman Fine Arts Center, where her sorority sister Madison majors in studio art. Madison meets up downtown with junior rower Katie. Downtown's where you can get beautiful river views, specialty stores, and the best root beer in Ohio. Katie heads back to campus just in time for a class in the Rickey Science Center with who else but Candace. So take a look around. Here at Marietta College, we're all connected. We are family, and we are all pioneers.
So there you are. It's flu season, and you're over 65 like me. You might be forgetting something serious. Your annual flu shot. The flu can be life-threatening, especially if you have chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease, which can worsen with the flu. The immune system weakens with age. Ask about a flu vaccine option made specifically for us. Visit ncoa.org/flu to learn more and talk to your doctor about vaccine options for people 65 and older.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Alexis Pennell. Marietta College baseball has had to find things aside from traditional routines to keep them going through this tough COVID season. WCMO NewsCenter 15's Bobby Cashall wanted to hear about it from the coach's perspective.
Over the past year, the sports world as we know it has changed. Here at Marietta College, we have witnessed this firsthand as we have had several sports teams have their seasons cut short. One of the teams in particular are our Marietta College baseball team. Join me as I interview head coach Brian Brewer for his insight for his team's success following such an abrupt end to last season.
Good, how are you, Bobby?
Doing pretty good. Short little interview today. Just got a couple questions for you. My first one is, how do you feel about your team's success following the abrupt stoppage of last season?
Pretty excited. Obviously, we got off to a good start last year, and then as you mentioned, everything got cut short with the COVID getting started, and then we've obviously had some changes and such that have happened to this year's schedule. But the kids are a pretty motivated group. We've worked really hard, had a great fall and winter of preparation, and got a little momentum rolling. Hopefully we can continue it for the next month or so.
Sure. How would you say the attitude of the team has changed from the previous semester into this one?
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit of a gradual process. 2 years ago, when a lot of our juniors were freshmen, we had a historically bad year for our program. We had a really bad year. And I think those kids drew some motivation from that. Losing's a great motivator. And I think with those guys, and then we've got 2 or 3 transfers this year that are pretty impactful players, and they're obviously motivated to prove to their new teammates and their old coaches that they should have been playing. And so I think there's a combination, a couple different motivators that have really contributed to this year's success. And again, hopefully we can just continue trending in the right direction.
I definitely agree with you on that, because like that season, I remember it, but then like I remember like hearing like talk from like certain players like this wasn't the season, and then like the following season, like even though it got cut short, it was just like we're here to dominate, we're here to like let everyone know that this isn't going to be a phase, that Marietta baseball is, we're going to be like the bad sports team here. So like I definitely like see where you like what you're saying about that. So kind of piggying back off of a previous question, how would you say the team's like motivation, like how has like the locker room changed like in the past couple months?
Well, I think that there's a lot more confidence now, not just really in the last couple months, but in the last couple years. Right. There's just, it's tough to win college anything, football, baseball, basketball, with freshmen. And that's what we were playing a lot of 2 years ago. So those guys are obviously physically and mentally and emotionally more mature. They're men now versus boys, playing against other men. So it's just a more level playing field. And with that, maturity comes some confidence, and then along with winning comes confidence, right? It's best place to be in the spring for us is obviously in a winning locker room. It's just more enjoyable. Everyone's more relaxed. No one's pushing, pressing, and those type of things. So the confidence, obviously, is the biggest change. I think the kids are walking out with their chest out, their chin up, and they got a little bit of that swag back, which is important. If you don't think you can do it, you ain't gonna. Right? It's so a lot of it's the confidence has changed things, and we've always had a good group, but I think it's especially true this year. We just got really good kids from good families, which makes our whole environment a lot more enjoyable.
Right. Being how you said 2 years ago, you had a majority of your players that were freshmen, like on the field early. How would you say like the practices are now that they have like that few couple years underneath their belt? They have that maturity feel.
Yeah, just more efficient overall.
Right.
They know the drill, want to see, and what we don't want to see.
Right.
So there's a comfort level, there's a confidence level, there's a comfort level between them and I and our coaching staff on what our expectations are, what we will and will not tolerate. So I think everything, just the overall operation of the program is much more efficient now than it was 2 years ago, which is to be expected with again, a lot more experienced players.
So would you say there are like certain players on the team that like certain players like look forward to like leading them, like having like that sense of urgency throughout the rest of the team?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, every group, right, or team kind of has their guys, class clown, emotional leader, maybe lead by example kind of guy. So I think we have a lot of kids, right, between the transfers and the fifth year. We have 2 fifth-year guys because of COVID. We got some seniors. I think we got 6 or 7 seniors this year, 2 of which will be back next year. So with all of the bad that has come with COVID, the good is that we've got some more experienced guys around us, some older guys around us, and that lends to just those things that you mentioned.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I got for you today, Coach. Thank you for your time.
All right, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alexis and Bobby. Baseball is often referred to as America's pastime. After the break, we will hear from some current student athletes and learn what has happened to our favorite pastime during COVID.
When I found Marietta, I didn't just find a place to go to college. I found so much more than that.
I found friends. I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Darius Hatch. Baseball is a sport of tradition, but what did COVID-19 do to the Pioneers? Has Marietta College's baseball team been on the ball with COVID? WCMO NewsCenter 15's Cale Hill found out how some of the current players are coping.
Hi, I'm Cale Hill, and I'm here with senior center fielder Trent Castle and junior first baseman Drew Holderback. What are you guys looking forward to the most this season?
You know, we think we have a really good team this year, and we're looking forward to getting through to the rest of the season and seeing how far we can make it.
I was going to say, I feel like the opportunities are endless with the talent that we have in this group. It's a close-knit group, so I think we're ready to go.
Do you guys think this season has the potential to win conference championship, maybe regional, maybe national championship?
For sure. We have a really good team this year. We have all the pitching we need. We have a bunch of hitters that have come in. We got new players, new transfers. It's looking really good so far.
As Holdy said, I mean, we returned a lot of guys from last year, basically the whole pitching staff. So, I mean, we're ready to go. I wouldn't, the opportunities are endless. So we just got to see where our talent's going to take us.
And is that the expectation for this year? Are those goals set with the team, or where do you think your goals are set as the season goes on?
I think coming here, we go in with that goal every year, I'd say. But especially this year with how we've performed so far in the off-season and throughout the year up to this point.
I'd say, that's why we all came here. The ultimate goal is to win the national championship, and you have to win the conference and the regional and everything to get to there, but that's our goal for sure.
And this season has already been crazy because of COVID-19 and all of that. And how's that affected your guys' preparation for this year?
I wouldn't say it's affected the preparation all that much, but it's definitely changed the season around, playing only conference games and 2 doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday. But it's been tough so far, but I think we've made good adjustments and we've been rolling so far.
Yeah, I agree with Holdy. The only big changes to the season really are the conference only games on the weekends, and playing 4 games in 2 days is tough, but Brewer trained us, so yeah. We're going to be ready for that.
Yep. All right, well, thank you for joining me today. I'm Cale Hill with WCMO TV, Marietta College Broadcasting.
Thank you, Darius and Cale. After the break, our program shifts to another important part of campus life, Greek life. Dale Rendulic explores the historic Alpha Sigma Pi and how its members help become better men.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a midnight snack run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community. Know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We've always had villains to face.
Bad guys to take down.
But you
are the most horrible of all.
We're not here because we have to be.
We're here because we've had enough of you.
every single one of us is mortal.
But inside of us,
we're all heroes.
So stand up with us.
Stand up to fight.
Stand up to cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to learn more.
Thanks for joining us here for the special edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Austin Baumgartner. Marietta College has a thriving Greek life. In fact, Alpha Sigma Pi is the oldest active fraternity on campus. WCMO NewsCenter 15's Dale Randolik explains the importance of the support of Greek life.
Alpha Sigma Phi is the oldest surviving fraternity at Marietta College, founded in 1860 with a designation known as Delta Chapter. During the Civil War, Delta Chapter was able to keep its traditions alive while other chapters closed their doors. From 1867 to 1907, Delta Chapter was the only active Alpha Sigma Phi chapter. The fraternity values silence, charity, purity, honor, and patriotism. The motto is to better the man. One thing that they do is they have a car show once a year to raise money for the Homes for Our Troops charity. So let's ask the current brothers, what made you join Alpha Sig, and how has it improved your college experience?
What made me join Alpha Sigma Phi? So my freshman year, I was on the rowing teams. I had a good group of friends, but I felt like I was missing something. I've always seen those Greek movies, Greek life, and I was interested in it. Didn't have the grades to get in my freshman year, but I was surrounded by the good group of guys, and it made me work harder to get my grades up and wanted to join. And ever since joining Alpha Sigma Phi, I felt like I've had brothers here. They've kept me here after I thought about transferring a couple of times. But with the SIGs, my major, and working athletics, I can't be more happier. And the things we do as a brotherhood are unlike any other things you would get in your college experience. Anybody who's not in Greek life is missing out.
Let's see, I would say, well, the SIGs were the first people that I actually probably saw on campus. They were the first people that I talked to, and freshman year I guess I was really to myself in a way. And when I joined the SIGs, they kind of helped me branch out and made who I am today. Now I'm more outgoing, I should say, more adventurous, if you will. But I'd say the reason I joined the SIGs is because of the people that were here before and the people that are here now. They are in line with who I view as good people, and I want to try and keep that tradition going of changing people like myself from someone that, coming out of high school, maybe not, how do I word this? Maybe not where they want to be, I guess I should say. Like me, I was pretty shy when I got here, but then after joining the SIGs, I was able to get more outgoing and, have more opportunities in life, and that's why I joined the SIGs.
Alright, I joined Alpha Sig my sophomore year after hanging out all year freshman year. I wasn't looking to join Greek life, but then I saw all the benefits of joining, so sophomore year I made the commitment to join. It has improved my college experience in more ways than I can say, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of it. It gives me a sense of meaning and leadership. It's given me a lot of opportunities to volunteer in the community and make better brothers. So it's been a great experience for me. It's given me a lot of job opportunities because of it, and I would encourage anyone considering Greek life to find their place in the college.
Thank you, Dale. Coming up next, Alexis Pennell finds out how Marietta College students are handling COVID.
Where are we?
We're at Marietta College.
This is where we live at Marietta College.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Bobby Cashaw. The world was rattled when COVID broke out of control and put the brakes on our daily lives. Campus life was particularly impacted. How has Marietta College fared through the pandemic? Alexis Pendle has some details on how COVID has changed life here.
With the welfare and safety of the entire Marietta College community as the highest priority, MC's COVID-19 Recovery Task Force has developed a set of campus health and safety recommendations and requirements in response to the coronavirus pandemic that students and staff are expected to follow. I have interviewed 3 students that want to share their thoughts on how COVID affected them and their school year.
My name's Danielle. I'm a sophomore and I'm a political science major.
I'm Alexis. I'm a junior and a sports management major.
Okay, my name's Noah. I'm a junior and I'm a graphic design major.
Okay, I'm going to be asking a few questions about COVID. What has been different for you with COVID in your school year?
It's been really different because there's all kinds of different new regulations and stuff about how we can move through the different academic buildings, how we can study for study groups, stuff like that.
I'd have to say, obviously, the switch to online for Zoom classes, and with that, it's a lot harder to focus and stay on task with it than it is if you're in person. I just learn better in person.
Definitely the masks. I don't like the masks. And on top of that, athletics has been really difficult because whenever we're in the weight room, we have to wear masks.
Yeah.
We have to wear masks going out to the field, something like that. I have to have it on our neck, which is kind of a pain. When it's 90 degrees outside, you're running up and down the field.
Okay, and what do you miss about life before COVID?
Everything. I miss being able to hang out in big groups and spend time with more than just 3 people at a time.
Before COVID, I obviously missed being able to hang out with friends and not getting kind of shamed for it. In big groups, obviously, no mask was a nice thing. I always forget mine sometimes, and it's just a big problem. So basically just that, and then obviously certain places that are still closed and we can't quite go to or have restricted hours, like Walmart, for instance. I can't go there at 1 in the morning on a study break with friends just for fun. So yeah.
Probably being able to just go out and hang out with friends, out on the town, stuff like that, without obviously having to wear your mask or whatever.
Yeah. Are there any restrictions for COVID that you appreciate or think are positive?
I guess it's nice that they limit class size, because then it feels like you're more one-on-one with the professor. So if you get more of a personalized education for the class, rather than feeling like you can't ask questions or really bring up things that you're concerned about.
I do appreciate the fact that we do health checks going into classes, and if we need to, we can zoom in, and obviously professors are more understanding if we have to. Along with that, with sports, the fact that we have to test every week but still get to compete because of that is nice, and then obviously we get to know if someone on the team is infected. And then going through the different exits and entrances into buildings, I feel speeds up traffic a lot easier and there's less commotion.
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess the only restriction is the mask. I just really hate the masks.
Understandable. And my last question is, how has COVID affected your mental health within the school year?
Not being able to hang out with bigger groups or all of my friends on campus all at once has been really difficult, because I have a lot of classes and things going on, whether I'm going home. So it's really hard to see those people, and then I feel bad because I don't get to see 2 or 3 of them for weeks at a time, whereas I see other people every day.
Definitely affected my mental health starting last school year when it all hit right away. My family was big on quarantining over summer, so I didn't really get to do a whole lot besides working. And then coming back to school in the fall, I feel like it was very stressful because we didn't know what to expect. Obviously, then getting quarantined was not a good time for me because I had nothing to do with it. It was just my roommate got quarantined. Still made out positive, so yay, or not positive, negative. But I'm a very much a people person. I hang out with friends a lot, so being stuck in a small little dorm for a week long with no human contact was just not it for me. But yeah.
It sucks.
Want to talk a little bit about it?
Severe anxiety and severe depression.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share about COVID?
It sucks.
You're not
That's
wrong
it.
about that
That's
one.
it.
Although times are tough here at Marietta College, students are definitely prepared to push through and finish the semester. I'm Alexis Pennell. Thank you for tuning in to WCMO NewsCenter 15.
Thank you, Bobby and Alexis. As if COVID-19 isn't scary enough, after the break, Samantha Rebedew has the scary scoop on some Marietta history.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones. The first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Thanks for joining us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Reese Worship. Marietta is a place full of history, and with that, of course, comes a bit of mystery. Some of them spooky. From the streets of historic Marietta, here to give us the eerie information is WCMO NewsCenter 15, Samantha Rebedew.
The smallest towns tend to have the biggest histories, and Marietta is certainly no exception. Since its establishment in 1788 as the first settlement in the Northwest Territory, Marietta has lived a truly adventurous life, with fires, floods, and more lurid experiences coloring its past. This history has caused Marietta to develop some interesting, and in one case famous, ghost stories. Let's take a look at a couple of the stories that have given Marietta a reputation for restless spirits, starting with its most famous, the Lafayette Hotel.
So the Lafayette Hotel is supposedly the most haunted hotel in Ohio. It is down by the river in a spot that actually had a couple other buildings there before. First was the mayor's house, and then the Bellevue Hotel, both of which burned down, and then the Lafayette was built on top of it. The ghost story that we have from the Lafayette is believed to be the ghost of S. Durwood Hoig, who was the owner of the Lafayette for a large portion of its history, and he absolutely loved his hotel. He was very, very involved in, the decorating. He was always promoting it. He was very involved in public life in Marietta in general. He especially loved the gun room, which is a small little restaurant in the hotel, decorated with antique long guns on the wall, hence the name. He spent a lot of time there during his life, and would, kind of like hold court, have meetings at like his favorite table in the gun room. And so one of the stories that we have about the the Lafayette is that waitresses in the gun room, usually when they've just opened the restaurant, will see a man, usually dressed in brown, sitting at a corner back, at a table back in the corner. They'll try to speak to him, say, "Can I get you anything?" And he won't respond. Then they'll go to the kitchen to go get him some coffee to start him out for the morning. And when they come back out with the coffee, he's gone. And so the idea is that is Mr. Hoig just hanging out in his favorite room in the Lafayette. There's other activity, mostly on the 3rd floor, which is where Mr. Hoig lived when he owned the hotel. Things there like things going missing all the time, strange items being placed in people's luggage that they didn't put there, and also just workers feeling very uncomfortable, like someone's behind them. A couple people have said that they've, experienced, hearing things or being touched, things like that. And then down on the 1st floor, apparently in the middle of the night, whoever is manning the reception desk on the 1st floor in the lobby, in the middle of the night, they will see the elevator go from the 1st floor all the way up to the 6th floor. The Lafayette doesn't have a 6th floor. The 6th floor is the roof, because there was originally, Mr. Hoig was thinking of adding a penthouse up there. And so only, like the manager and like the head of maintenance have a key to actually make the elevator go up to the 6th floor. But apparently in the middle of the night, it is not uncommon for the elevator to start at the 1st floor, go all the way up to the 6th floor, and then come back down with no one in it and no one to activate that key.
Now that we've heard about the most nationally acclaimed ghost haunt in the city, let's look at a local legend that tells a truly chilling tale of infidelity turned murder. Our story starts on Ohio Street, once an area of town full of brothels and other illicit hangouts. When a wealthy man from town began a relationship with a woman from one such establishment and failed to be discreet, the rumor mill circulated wildly, casting shame and embarrassment upon his family.
So one night, his oldest son followed his father down to Ohio Street, watched him go into the LaBelle, and saw a light go on the 2nd floor of the building. So he followed his father in, carrying an axe, went up to the 2nd floor, saw that one door was locked. So he opened that door, found his father in bed with this woman he had been having the affair with, and supposedly, in one swipe, cut his father's head off. So the woman is in bed, is, screaming hysterically because her lover's just been killed. The son then also starts screaming and is absolutely horrified at what he's done. He runs down the stairs. And so there's been like this horrible, horrible murder at this hotel. And the idea is that this horrible scene has caused a residual haunting in the LaBelle, which is now called the Levy House. And the way that it manifests is that people will hear someone going up the stairs to the 2nd floor, stopping on the landing, and then running back downstairs out of the building. And that is thought to be the son in ghost form, going up, committing the murder, and then running back out of the room horrified.
We may never know where some of our stories start, but we can see the ending in the history that develops over time. This has been Sam Remedu at WCMO NewsCenter 15.
Thank you, Sam and Reese. And special thanks to Marietta College professor Mary Lee Morrow and her Media Production 2 class, writer and producer George Riffle, and executive producer and correspondent Samantha Rubidoux for their work and dedication to the special edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. We'll see you again in the fall, where we plan to be back to our normal routines.
Meet Candace. This senior basketball player loves to spend time hanging out before class with her best friend and education major Shelby. Shelby knows the best place to study is at the Kalaki Cafe, where she can compare notes with baseball player Ryan and get a great cup of coffee too. In the off-season, Ryan tries his best when he's shooting hoops with broadcasting major Gage in the Dyson Baudo Recreation Center, home of Fenton Court. Gage, as producer at WCMO 15 News, runs the control room, where he shows the ropes to Mary, a junior volleyball player and advertising and public relations major. Mary loves to spend her free time drawing down at the Herman Fine Arts Center, where her sorority sister Madison majors in studio art. Madison meets up downtown with junior rower Katie. Downtown's where you can get beautiful river views, specialty stores, and the best root beer in Ohio. Katie heads back to campus just in time for a class in the Rickey Science Center with who else but Candace. So take a look around. Here at Marietta College, we're all connected. We are family, and we are all pioneers.
My Marietta.
My Marietta.
My Marietta.
My Marietta.
My home away from home.
My stepping stones for the future.
My Marietta Network.
My performing.
At Marietta College, the professors are here for you more than just your classes. They want to help you succeed in both school and your career because they really care about you as a person. And that's why I can call my professors my friends. And that's why they're part of my Marietta Network.
I enjoy being here at Marietta College with all the kind of things that you get to do with mass media. You get to work around with the community, whether it be the elections that happen or with sports. You get to work on radio and format your own kind of show, whichever way you'd like to do it. And you even get to work on live television here. I mean, there's nothing more you could really ask for if you're interested in broadcasting or doing anything that involves mass media here at Marietta. It's a fun experience and I love it.
Marietta College provides me with state-of-the-art facilities. Also, while heading to class, it was like taking a stroll in the park. I've absolutely fallen in love with the campus.
At Marietta College, everybody cares about each other. We all say hi and smile when we see each other. My professors really know me and they care about my success. And I get to perform a lot here at the theater, and I get to sing and I get to play in any bands that I want to. It's great.